Ivanka Trump tried to take a little bit of a victory lap after it was announced that a new vaccine trial was showing a lot of promise. Now, unfortunately for her, she crashed and burned. So let me give you the details before I get into that. Earlier today, Moderna had actually announced some good news. One of its vaccine candidates had a 94.5% in its phase 3 trial. It was proven to be about 95% effective and could be safely stored up to about 30 days of normal refrigeration. So that is something that the Pfizer vaccine could not do. The Pfizer vaccine actually had to be stored in very, very cold temperatures, meaning that really if we went with that vaccine, it would have very difficult time with distribution. So having a vaccine that could be stored at refrigeration temperatures would be a lot easier. All right, so that said, great news if it holds up. I'm very excited at the prospect of actually ending the coronavirus pandemic and getting some stuff back to normal. Obviously, there would have to be more testing to ensure that it's safe and effective. Do we really trust the Trump FDA? I don't know about that. But then again, Joe Biden is the president-elect. I'm sure that at least Biden would have his FDA look at it a little bit closer to make sure that everything is more safe. But that said, Ivanka, she's going to come out and tweet about how it's the Trump administration. They're the ones who brought you the vaccine. 100%. Here's what she said. The Moderna NIH vaccine, the National Institute of Health, is the second candidate in a week to show strong efficacy in phase 3 trials. Congratulations, Moderna, Donald Trump, the Operation Warp Speed team, and all that made the historic breakthrough possible. It will help bring an end to this terrible pandemic. Yes, I'm sure she really cares about that. She followed up with a few minutes later with another self-congratulation, saying, "Breaking the second effective COVID-19 vaccine in a week. This historic breakthrough has been delivered at an unprecedented warp speed by Moderna, President Trump, NIH, and Operation Warp Speed. Promise kept." Here's why that's bullshit. Okay. Now, so the big credit, Operation Warp Speed. The National Institute of Health, they couldn't have done this, without partnering with Moderna. It's a private partner, private-public partnership. And so it's all us though. We were in charge of that whole thing, and it happened on our watch. So we should get all the credit for this vaccine. No. See, here's the thing: if Donald Trump had his way, the National Institute of Health would have been devastated by the cuts. Remember, in every budget proposal put out by the White House, by Trump, the NIH, as well as research and development for drugs, was massively cut. Back in 2017, for example, Trump called for massive cuts to spending on medical and scientific research, public health and disease prevention programs, and health insurance for low-income Americans and children. Under that proposed budget, the NIH, the National Institute of Health, would see its annual budget cut by 18%. From 31.8 to 26 billion. This includes cuts to the National Cancer Institute by $1 billion, National Heart and Lung and Blood Institute $575 million, and the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases $838 million. Those cuts did not come to pass, thankfully, but the CDC would have also lost 17% of its budget, a total cut of about $1.2 billion. Now you could be like, well, come on, dude. Like, let's be fair. That was back in 2017. Okay, but we knew that there was, I wouldn't say we knew there was a coronavirus coming, but we were trying to prepare. The Obama administration was concerned about a possible coronavirus coming out of China. That's why we had people there. That's why we had an entire infectious disease team put together to monitor the situation, to monitor the area, to make sure that we could respond quickly if something like that happened. And it did. The thing is, Donald Trump also eliminated that team. So now, again, going back to the point of, yeah, but it was 2017. Come on. Okay, well, the most recent budget proposal put out February of this year after Trump knew about coronavirus, knew how bad that it could get, had actually had the Bob Woodward interview where he was like, oh man, I was talking to President Xi, and President Xi says this is real bad. This is terrible. And it's lots and lots of death. Lots of death. You still had Donald Trump asking for cuts. In fact, the National Institute of Health budget would have dropped from more than 41 billion to about 38. That's a 7% cut. Again, coronavirus, while they were looking for a vaccine, by the way. The National Science Foundation's budget would drop by 6% to around 6.3 billion. Again, that budget was released just days after Trump talked to Bob Woodward. Here's what he said. This coronavirus is more deadly than even your strenuous flus. This is deadly stuff. Now, that said, does Trump deserve zero credit? I mean, I don't know. The Trump administration did do Operation Warp Speed. Moderna was part of that. In fact, that program, which is ran by Health and Human Services, granted Moderna about $955 million taxpayer money to support the clinical development of its vaccine candidate. $483 million was granted when Moderna began phase 1 trials in mid-March, and another $472 million was granted to support phase 3 of the vaccine trial in July. In August, the federal government also signed a $1.5 billion agreement to buy and fund the distribution of the initial 100 million doses of the Moderna vaccine, if it's approved, with the option to acquire more doses. So Moderna had worked with federal researchers, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, to develop the vaccine, and the government helped design the company's trial as well. So again, a massive public-private partnership where you have a lot of taxpayer money get funded into these companies in order to help develop this vaccine. And so now, could you credit Donald Trump with that? Not personally. The administration, I guess, but Trump specifically? No. I guess he signed the executive orders, but other than that, he ran around actually making coronavirus worse. Again, Ivanka makes it seem like, oh my God, bravo, Daddy, bravo, good work. Good work, everybody, but especially Daddy. Okay, well, thing is, as I said before, he was setting the conditions for coronavirus to spread even more. He even caught it himself. Homeboy caught it himself. And then made the White House into a cluster. Look, you had over 130 Secret Service agents and staffers get sick with coronavirus because Donald Trump, his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, got coronavirus. The secretaries, Ben Carson, he got COVID. And so come on, dude, they all got COVID. All while Donald Trump, again, was doing these massive rallies, these super spreader events, and talking about the vaccine, it's going to come momentarily. Oh, is it? Is it? I mean, I guess it's pretty close now, but since we're doing pretty well. But that, again, he was saying that all the way back in August and July. So, come on, dude. Again, it feels like we're close to a vaccine, and that's good. But you had over 230,000 people die already. We're getting at 250,000 people. We might have even passed that already. And you know what? We're going to see more. And these are people that didn't have to die. I know there was going to be a percentage, 40, 50,000 people if we had taken stringent and strict measures and taken this seriously. I understand that. And I think anybody would also understand that, like, hey, yeah, of course, it does. It's a virulent virus. It's mutated a couple times. It's very, very, very easy to get and to spread around. But like, the death toll is excessive. And again, we're in a situation where right now we are seeing a massive, massive spike. So 230,000, we'll be lucky if it's under half a million people that die of coronavirus by the time that we get a vaccine that's correct. that is ready, that is done, you know, that we're done with the trials. And so, come on. Couple of tweets here. Okay, let me give you that. Jen Pal says, this couldn't have less to do with you, meaning Ivanka. Racer44 says, congratulate the scientist. You did nothing but pressure them for his own political purposes. Like always, he takes credit for the accomplishments of others. It's over, says, be happy. Like when the Pfizer vaccine came out with their efficacy rate and your brother and dad shit on it because of the timing. Noted. And then there's this great point. Silver Eagle says, Donald Trump has politicized the vaccine so much that people don't trust the safety of the vaccine. I've definitely seen a lot of that. Trump has politicized the FDA, and USA citizens don't know if they can be trusted to have the best interests of the citizens at heart instead of being bought. And then, of course, there's this question. Hannah Wenabo says, does your dad have a rollout plan for the vaccine? Or is he just watching TV, yelling about victimhood, and taking credit for things that happened in spite of his horrific response to the pandemic? I think we all know the answer to that question. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.